Meeting come to order, please. Madam Clerk, call roll.
Samuel Newton.
Here.
Ronnie Bush.
Here.
Deb Devine. Here. Rebecca Quiggle. Charles Hilton.
Here.
Casey Anthony.
Present.
Dale Diddens.
Here.
Kurt Copeland.
Here.
Kevin Tombson.
Here.
Erica Monroe is absent. Ron Flegel.
Here.
Melvin Wire.
Here.
Larry Jokers.
Here.
Nicole Baker and Scott Helms are absent. Sally Brashaw.
Present.
Brian Brandt.
Present.
Daniel Rohr. Mark Diddens.
Present.
Garrett Miller.
Here.
Jerry Clay.
Here.
William Hadley.
Here.
5 absent, we have a quorum.
Point of information, Mr. Chairman, I noticed that Mr. Helms is on Zoom. Are we allowing, so just on committees where we need the votes, we're gonna allow Zoom participation?
I allowed the committee chairs to make that decision.
Very well. Well, Scott, having never missed a meeting in 6 years, is sick this evening.
I understand that.
Okay.
Okay, at this time, Mr. Newton will lead us in prayer, and then Mr. Flegel in the pledge.
Let us pray. Dear gracious, eternal Father, we thank you for this day. And Lord, as we near the end of this year, Father, we want to say thank you for all the blessings that have been afforded to us and our families. And we ask, God, as we go into a Thanksgiving season, that you would bless every family underneath the sound of my voice, that you would keep us well. Those who may be sick in the bodies, heal them on today. We thank you, God, for all that you do and all that you have done. And now unto him who is able to keep us from falling and to present us faultless with exceeding joy, to the only wise God I know, be both now dominion and power, both now and forever. And everybody said amen.
Amen. There's,
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion to approve the agenda
So
by Ms. Bradshaw, second by Mr. Brandt. Something's wrong with my computer screen. I don't have the sign. I don't have the sign so I can see who's buzzing.
Okay, tap the little square by the X.
Square?
Minimize it.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, this is bigger than usual, but there's a whole bunch of stuff down here below that has red in it, and I never seen that before. I'll try to do the best I can. You can look at it. Okay. Anybody on the discussion of the agenda? I see no lights. So. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Madam Clerk, can you read the consent agenda, please?
We have approval of the October 20, 2022 minutes, approval of October 26, 2022 minutes, referring all claims on the clerk's desk to the proper committees without reading. Claims total is $2,834,833.95. We have approval of HD 2218 appropriating motor fuel tax funds. Approval of HD 2219 approving motor fuel tax funds. And approval of HD 2220 Kent Township, County Birthday to, North Crossroads Road.
This time, anybody wants to remove anything?
C.
Let's see, I don't see.
There you go.
Yeah. These are not even coming on. C, okay. Can I have a motion for A, B, D, E, and F?
So moved.
By Mr. Georges, second by Mr. Tombson. Madam Clerk, call roll, please.
Larry Jokers,
Aye.
Sally Brashaw,
Aye.
Brian Brandt,
Aye.
Mark Diddens,
Aye.
Garrett Miller,
Aye.
Jerry Clay,
Aye.
Samuel Newton,
Aye.
Ronnie Bush,
Aye.
Deb Devine,
Aye.
Charles Hilton,
Aye.
Casey Anthony,
Aye.
Dale Diddens,
Aye.
Kurt Coplain,
Aye.
Kevin Tombson,
Aye.
Ron Flegel,
Aye.
Elvin Meyer,
Yes.
unanimous.
Okay, now this whole system went down.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve C.
Okay, motion to approve C,
Second.
second by Mr. Copeland. Madam Clerk, call roll, please.
Can you shut the computer off and back on again?
Oh, shit,
Garrett Miller,
Aye.
Jerry Clay,
No.
Samuel Newton,
Aye.
Ronnie Bush,
Aye.
Deb Devine,
Aye.
Charles Hilton,
Aye.
Casey Anthony,
Aye.
Dale Diddens,
Aye.
Kurt Coplain,
Aye.
Kevin Tombson,
Aye.
Ron Flegel,
Aye.
Elvin Meyer, Larry Jokers,
Aye.
Sally Brashaw,
Aye.
Brian Brandt,
Aye.
Mark Diddens,
Aye.
William Hadley.
Yes.
1 no, motion carried.
Okay, at this time, we have public comment. Anybody in the audience that wants to make public comment? Okay, I see none. Zoning report.
I took the long way, sorry. All right, the monthly meeting of the zoning board of appeals was held Wednesday, November 2nd, and there was a full forum. The first hearing was for Next Amp Solar, no T in there, Solar LLC, Pearl City Solar. This one is just north of Hershey Road, south of Sabin Church Road. They are requesting a special use to allow for a 5 megawatt solar power generating facility located on Illinois 73 South, Pearl City. There were no objectors, and the board voted unanimously to approve the special use.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second by Mr. Miller. Any discussion? I see none. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Carries. Go ahead.
The second hearing was for Blue Violet Energy LLC. They are requesting a 50 megawatt solar power generating facility, a 174 megawatt wind energy facility with up to 29 wind turbines, a substation, and a 40 megawatt times 4-hour battery storage facility. There were no objectors, and the board voted unanimously to approve the special use with the following condition: the parcels that are north of Highway 20, the panhandle, be removed from the application.
Mr. Chairman, I so move for approval.
Approval by Mr. Newton, second
Second.
by Mr. Bush. Any discussion? Mr. Flegel, go ahead.
Yes, I just have to.
Can you talk into the mic? So folks can hear.
Okay, I just want to announce that I will be abstaining from the vote because my family is involved in this project.
We have to vote for that.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, motion to allow Mr. Flegel to abstain.
Second.
Second by Mr. Newton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Thank you.
I see no more discussion. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna do, yeah. Already
So
got-
close.
Right.
So close.
So we already got a motion to approve in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carries. Okay, anything else for us?
That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, at this time, unfinished business, we have none. Real quick report here. 2 retirements. Sheriff Dave Snyder is having a retirement get together here they're having it for him at the old treasurer's office Wednesday, November 30th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And then Judge Ball they're having a retirement for Judge Ball on the 2nd floor in the jury assembly room, November 30th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Hopefully some board members can make those retirements. An update, we just got the last person to sign easements, so all the easements are in now for the water and sewer project out at Mill Race. And on the 28th, we will be approving those easement payments and everything. So that'll be on the agenda for the 28th for approval. And that's all I have at this time. Okay, we will move on to appointments, none, finance. Georges, go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman. I have several items on the agenda here. In your packet is number 9, which is approval of service agreement with Diamond Brothers. This is an annual thing that we do, and I thank Ms. Carrie Wright for guiding us through here and renewing us for our insurance. And you can see in that packet there that I don't have a dollar amount, but we're getting renewed basically. So I would make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Copeland. Any discussion? Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm not sure if this is on.
I got it on.
Okay, sorry about that. Hey, is everything on this contract, is this customary and standard renewal, and is it an increase in cost?
Go ahead.
There has not been an increase in this over the past several years, and it is the same contract as last year.
Thank you, that's all I wanted to know.
Okay, I see no more discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Go ahead.
Okay, next on the agenda is approval of an ordinance providing for property tax levy on the county of Stephenson for the fiscal period beginning January 1, 2023 and ending December 31, 2023. That is item number 10 in your packet. That does include that 5% increase. And the department fund, for all this $310,000 for the county matching fund, as well as another $310 for the county bridge fund, $200,000 for the Veterans Assistance Commission fund, and $40,722 for the county health department fund, and $840,000 for the liability insurance fund, and there's more. Keep going here. $509.59 for the Social Security contribution fund, and $1,000,000 $1,296,751 for Illinois Municipal IMRF Fund, and $190,000 for the Extension Education Fund, and $340,000 for the Community Mental Health Fund. And last, is $58,665 for the Tuberculosis Fund.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay. Second.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Stephenson, second. Discussion?
Question.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Clay.
This will be a roll call.
Yeah, we'll do a roll call on this.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Couldn't see if my light was on or not. Mr. Jokers, you mentioned a 5% increase.
That was the vote that we took to increase the levy by an additional 5% over what the state mandated.
And follow up to that, that does not mean an increase in taxes to our property owners.
I don't believe that it does increase the taxes.
That was a question posed to me. Would anyone else like to vote for?
If only we could let Mr. Helm speak on that.
Yeah.
Well, we have our finance chair, director. She can speak to it. Go ahead.
So the impact would be around $7 on a $100,000 house with just an owner-occupied exemption.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Treasurer's monthly report shows a balance of $8,151,776 for the end of October. There was a $1,700,000 reduction till the end of the year because of expenses coming in. If we take that off, the budget will likely have somewhere around $900,000 profit or increase in cash flow. And we have $7 million of cash flow. Supposedly, we took money out of the cash balance to balance the budget last year, close to $2 million, something like that. How can we end up with a $900,000 positive cash flow and have all those expenses?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, he was asking you the question.
Okay. So the balance at the end of the year, that includes every tax, real estate tax disbursement. So that is why the balance is so high at this point, because all property taxes have been collected and been dispersed to all of the funds that are under the county's tax levy umbrella. So we need those funds to carry us through until we get to the next property tax cycle, which is in June of 2023.
There's never been a time when you've used more than about $1,500,000 to carry yourself through, and you've got $6 million balance.
Okay. We did increase our cash carry forward for the 2023 budget. We are anticipating revenue loss with the changes in the court fee structure starting January 1. I was going to go into that once I started presenting the budget.
Let's see, that cash carried forward was money that came out of the cash balance that we had from the previous year.
Yes, that's what that is.
And we still end up with a $900,000 cash on it. It seems like we're levying more than we need.
Okay.
Is that it, Mr. Wire?
Yes.
Any more discussion? I see none. Madam Clerk, call roll, please.
Sally Grasham.
Aye.
Brian Graham.
Aye.
Mark Diddens.
Aye.
Garrett Miller.
Aye.
Jerry Clay.
No.
Samuel Newton.
Aye.
Ronnie Bush.
Aye.
Deb Devine,
Aye.
Charles Hilton,
Aye.
Casey Anthony,
Aye.
Dale Siddons,
Aye.
Kurt Coplain,
Aye.
Kevin Johnson,
Aye.
Ron Siegel,
Aye.
Calvin Meyer,
No.
Larry Jokers,
No.
William Hadley.
Yes.
The next motion carried.
Okay, go ahead. The next action item.
Okay, that would be, one second, that would be action item, approval and sale of surplus properties.
No, we gotta go through the budget now. Approval,
Oh.
receive the layover of the budget.
Excuse me. Approval to receive layover the 2023 budget for the public inspection until November 28th, 2022.
She was gonna walk us through the budget for everybody to see, so
Do we need a motion?
I need a motion.
So moved.
Okay, by Mr. Newton, a second. Second by Mr. Hilton. Okay, now we can discuss the budget.
Okay, I just wanted to direct your attention towards the budget summary. This gives a snapshot of revenues and expenses of all of our funds. As you see, the total surplus is almost $2.5 million. The bulk of that is the American Rescue Plan Act, probation service fees, and the general corporate fund. Oops, sorry. I did want to go through the general fund revenue side. If you see the line items highlighted in purple, these are all of the revenue sources that are going to be impacted by the changes in the court fees coming up January 1st, as I had mentioned previously. We expect a $500,000 reduction across all funds. That is kind of a middle of the road estimate. It could be upwards of $700,000. So those have been reduced accordingly. You can see that there is a slight increase in the tax levy as we just discussed. The state income tax part of that is going to the capital fund, which I will talk about shortly. The new lines are highlighted in yellow. This is a sheriff's salary reimbursement, which is a new state law. So we will be receiving reimbursement for the sheriff's salary. Any line items in this reddish color are simply going to be inactivated moving forward. So as you can see, total revenues, $14.2 million. That is what we expect. Going back to the cash carry forward, last year we anticipated $1.93 million. This year we increased it to $2.5 million. Just in anticipation of that lost revenue through the court system and increase in expenditures. I did also, I'm not going to go through this line by line because I think we've done enough of that, but I did want to mention one change that was made at the finance committee level, and that is this line right here, the debt service. This was initially a transfer to Millrace Crossing to cover the debt certificate payments. I shouldn't say cover it all, assist in, yes, contributing to that. So, and I do want to mention this, this transfer to the capital fund, any increase in that tax levy was added to this line to fund capital expenditures in 2023.
Page number is that?
9.
And so, how do I know what page names?
Are they not numbered?
They're not numbered.
Okay.
You know, you gotta multiple page document here, why the number is not there, it's beyond me. So that we know where we're at. So you're on page 9.
I thought most board members were going to be using the electronic version.
Well, the line item number.
Yeah, the line item number you can reference.
Sequential.
Yes. So we're in the 923, 922 section of Fund 1. You will also see in the miscellaneous department that the employee health insurance has increased. You will see this across all employee health insurance lines and all funds. They have increased by 40%. There's a couple new lines in IT. So you can see with that, that change in the debt service line. Originally, this amount was, I believe, $80,000, and that was increased to $341,000 in surplus for the general fund. I did want to touch on the capital fund, as I mentioned before. So these are the revenue sources: state income tax, court security, and jail inmate medical. This is another court fee revenue that we collect. You can see that's gone down drastically. Personal property replacement tax allocation has been put into the miscellaneous line in the capital fund, along with that general fund transfer that I just discussed, and the cash carry forward line. So we have a little over $1.5 million for capital expenses in 2023. These were all the supplemental requests that are already in place, in addition to new requests that we received for the 2023 budget. So I will go to this sheet right here. So all of the supplemental requests in green were passed without change. The supplemental requests in yellow were adjusted, and as you can see, the 3 squad car request from the Sheriff's Department, this was reduced to simply fund the K-9 vehicle only. So originally, the amount that was asked was $157,000, and it was reduced to $61,000 to pay for that one vehicle instead of 3. Courthouse parking was approved, PSB parking lot, jail parking lot. All of the nursing center supplemental requests were moved back into the nursing center budget. So none of these will be included in the capital fund. Also for highway, the road improvements, originally an $895,000 request was submitted. This was actually increased to $1 million at the finance meeting in October. So going back to the capital fund expenditures, we do already have a sheriff's vehicle lease in place. So all of the blue lines are the new lines. So you can see the highway road improvements. The highway oil truck lease payment that was inadvertently left out of the 2022 budget. That was paid for out of the general fund contingency line, so we put it back into the capital fund where it should have been in the first place. You can see the various parking lot resurfacing and the K-9 vehicle.
Excuse me. On the public safety parking lot, is that behind the jail? The public safety building is the jail, correct?
No. Public safety building is
The old
The old jail?
Yes,
Okay.
right across there.
Right. Okay, fine, thank you.
And if anyone has questions on a specific fund that they would like me to step at, I'm just kind of highlighting the changes that were discussed at finance. So I'm going to Fund 43. So there was already, just to kind of review, there are already HVAC, there's a lease in place for HVAC equipment, so this is that lease payment. This does not include the full amount, so that is why it's such a small amount. That is the amount of lease payments that we will have for 2023. I think the full lease is for around $750,000 for the HVAC equipment improvements. Premium pay allocations, which were passed at last month's board meeting. And this is the major change, another transfer to Mill Race Crossing for the water and sewer project. So that was added as well. And now moving on to Mill Race. So right here you can see that transfer coming in. And the expenditure, the dollars that we are receiving from ingrown farms will eventually be expended out of that line. And you can see that the full bond repayment is coming out of Mill Race Crossing now, instead of that money coming from general fund and then out of Mill Race. So you can see the bottom line, as I showed before, and the summary is just under 2.5 million. Are there any questions?
Yeah, going back to the HVAC,
Yes.
that was done this past summer and paid out of the emergency fund, is that correct? You're talking the HVAC, we're here with this bill, right?
So there were certain expenditures that were kind of piecemeal. This lease was for the entire project, that entire bid, which did not get approved.
Right.
So there have been HVAC expenses that have come about, and those have been paid, I believe, through sheriff's budget.
That's what I
Yes.
was told through the sheriff's budget from the emergency fund. Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, this will just be laid over for public inspection and be back for approval on November 28th. So I see no more questions. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carries. Okay, go ahead with your other action item, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Last item is the following the packet, approval of sale of surplus properties. This agenda item was passed out of finance unanimously. It is approving the sale of 5 parcels for which the county served as fiduciary trustee. Taxes have not been collected for several years, and this sale puts them all back on the tax rolls for the future. These are routine sales. Approval is a positive step for all involved as the properties were abandoned. Not only will property tax collection be reinstated, but the hope is that the new owners will maintain the properties to the benefit of their respective neighborhoods.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Ms. Bradshaw, second by Mr. Tombstone. Any discussion? I see none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carries. Any information out of your committee?
I believe that is all for now.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to public property and safety. Mr. Copeland, go ahead.
I have 2 action items. The first is the approval of resolution, the Stephenson County multi-hazard mitigation plan, adopted that. This is an update to the 2017 to 2022 plan. It's funded by EMA. There's a lot of work done by the prior EMA director, Kevin Country, and the current director, Scott Townsend. We collaborated with 62 other citizens with bring different things to the table. And it's needed for non-emergency funds in case of a disaster. And this has to be approved along with all the other governing bodies in Stephenson County, and villages and towns. I make a motion to approve.
Okay, do I have a second? By Mr. Tombstone. Any discussion? I see none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carries. Okay, on the electric bid.
Second item is an electric bid for the public property, Stephenson County, the 10 buildings, I believe. And with nine bids coming in, Mid-American, the supplier, was the best rate with 0.06821 for a 6-year contract. I so move to approve.
Second by Mr. Jarvis. Did you want to? This is Mid-America then.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Ms. Bradshaw, go ahead.
Thank you. From what I understand, Chair, our state's attorney already approved this contract. Is that correct?
I have reviewed it.
You reviewed
It does appear to be a contract we can legally enter into.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Flegel, go ahead.
Okay, so this is a 60-month contract then?
Yes.
Mr. Clay, go ahead.
And I'm assuming you came in with a different rate today?
Is this the current rate?
This is today's.
We have,
It says today's rate.
yeah, today's rate.
Is it different than what we approved?
Slightly lower.
Slightly lower. Okay. Thank you.
I see no more discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Any information on your committee?
No, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, administration has no action items. Any information out of your committee?
Yeah, 2 items quickly. One is we need to get back on the IT policy. I'm glad to see Mr. Wilkinson is doing better. We're gonna be able to work on that and hopefully get that through before the end of the year here. The other item that we discussed during the committee meeting was interfund loan policy. And we have an example out there on the team site, and I sent an email out to everybody. Welcome to download a copy, make changes, whatever you want to do, and we'll get back at that next committee meeting. And hopefully we'll bring that to the full board then. So that's all I have. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on. Mr. Clay, go ahead.
When will that come to the board?
Whenever it passes through committee, hopefully next month.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, we will move on to court services. Go ahead, Mr. Diddens.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have one action item, is the approval of the intergovernmental agreement with Kane County's, the Kane County Juvenile Justice Center. And Mr. Larson has reviewed the contract and okayed it. The biggest change is they're raising the daily rate from 135 to 175. They have money in their budget, and when you compare Kane County to the other facilities, Kane County is well above. This is certainly a good idea, even at $40 a day more. So I would make a motion that we pass this.
Second by Mr. Georges. Any discussion? Mr. Clay, go ahead.
And the purpose of this is?
This is where we send the juvenile. Once we have the whole juvenile, we send them to Kane County.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, I see no more discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Any information out of your committee?
I do.
Okay, Ms. Anthony, go ahead with your action items.
Thank you. First up, we have approval of nursing center claims in the amount of $220,961.51, pending funding. I'll go ahead and make that motion.
I have a second by Mr. Hilton. Discussion, go ahead.
So just like we've been continuing to do, we've done this now a couple months in a row. All of the majority of the previous vendors were paid from last time. All that's remaining is transitional care management, liability, and the capital fund. We are expecting that revenue to come in. There's $140,000 from this one payer source that we're expecting any day now. Per the treasurer's request, Ms. Harris has provided the treasurer with an updated priority list for these claims.
Mr. Clay, go ahead.
What was the total of last month's bills that haven't been paid?
I don't know that amount.
160,000. Thank you.
Mr. Miller, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know where else to bring this up, so I guess it's appropriate to bring it up here. When we did the interfund loan, there was an amendment attached that specifically said that the nursing home, if needed, funds were needed to keep accounts payable solvent and all outstanding bills paid. And if that did not occur, it would require the county board chairman to immediately release an RFP for a brokerage to sell the Stephenson County Nursing Home. I have talked with Mr. Larson about it, and I believe a strong case can be made that that amendment has been triggered.
Is that true, or?
Depends on your definition of solvency. If you would like an opinion from me on that, I would be happy to.
Yes, I would, please. I know what to do. You want to talk? Or
I will prepare.
Oh, you will prepare. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I thought maybe you had something already. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Is that it, Mr. Miller?
Pending that opinion, will we be waiting till the next board meeting to discuss this again? Or will you, if Mr. Larson is of that opinion, will you move forward?
If he tells me that it needs to be done.
Good enough. Thank you, sir.
Done. Okay, any more discussion? Yes, go ahead.
I would just like to add that Ms. Harris has talked with all the vendors, and they continue to be agreeable for these late payments. So I didn't clarify that at the beginning. So there was the last spreadsheet that she sent out, went through and confirmed that she had contacted all of them. And that $140,000 we're expecting from one payer source is just one of the payer sources. Of course, there's the continued other payer sources that we also receive the reimbursements for revenue.
Okay, Mr. Clay, go ahead.
And so, what order do the bills get paid? Do last month's bills get paid before we start into the 220,000?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Copley, go ahead.
You know, when do you expect the revenue to come in to match the bills on time? So there's no payover.
Hold on. There you go.
The projections have continued to show that by the end of the year we'll be able to do that, and a lot of that's going to be attributed to the Medicaid reimbursement increase that does go retroactive to October 1st. We're expecting that hopefully by the end of this year those reimbursements will start coming in, because that was an even higher increase than we were anticipating with the estimates with the updated cost report.
Is that it, Mr. Copley?
What's the estimate on the back pay for the reimbursement?
It's during the holiday year, or during the holiday season, so sometimes Medicaid is early and sometimes they're late, and so we're just kind of at the the mercy of this, the state when we get all of that, the reimbursements back for what we're billing for October 1st. And again, this is for Medicaid.
Dollar amount.
The increase went up to $373.98. We were expecting, or estimating, they were estimating about between $340 and $350. And then when we got the rates back, it was $373.98.
Okay, Mr. Brandt, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question, Ms.
Could
Anderson.
you talk into the...
Sorry. My question is, are any of the vendors charging us a finance charge?
There wasn't any listed on the spreadsheet, but no. There's, none of them have done so yet.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Georges, go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman. I just had one question, or maybe two here. If I remember correctly, that resolution talked about being paid up each month or something like that, but on this list that I see here, I don't know if that's the latest one, it says October. Are there any bills that are not paid before October, like September, anything like that that's still outstanding?
The only outstanding claims that I'm aware of are the three that I previously spoke of, being transitional care management, liability, and the capital fund, which that one was the last payment from the capital fund, repayment.
And those are October bills?
Those would be September bills. Because what we're reviewing now for November claims is October bills.
Seems like we've triggered that. Thank you.
Okay. Any more discussion? Madam Clerk, call roll on this, please.
Casey Anthony.
Aye.
Dale Diddens.
Aye.
Kurt Copeland.
No.
Kevin Tombson.
No.
Ron Flegel.
Aye.
Alvin Wire.
No.
Larry Jokers.
No.
Sally Brashaw.
Aye.
Brian Brandt.
Aye.
Mark Diddens.
Aye.
Garrett Miller.
No.
Jerry Clay.
No.
Samuel Newton.
Point of clarification, this is for paying the bills.
Yes, correct.
Aye.
Ronnie Bush.
Aye.
Deb Devine.
Aye.
Charles Hilton.
Aye.
William Hadley.
Yes.
Eleven yes, 6 no.
11 yes, 6 no, that passes. Go ahead.
Thank you. Next up, we have the approval of write-offs for bad debt in the amount of $840,970.01. This is something that was recommended by the auditors, and doing so quarterly. The amount that the spreadsheet was sent out as far as all of the bad debt. But for Medicare, it's $115,774.29. Medicaid is the largest portion of $673,094.15. And hospice was $52,101.57. 40% of this, I'm sorry. All of this has gone through more than once. And was rejected each time, and this is based on most of these are based on the length of time, so you can only go and collect reimbursements from like 12 months ago. It's different for the different payer sources, but they tried to go back and were not able to collect that money based on previous billing companies or people who are not billing in a timely manner.
Motion to approve. Motion to approve.
So I'll make that motion.
Okay, I second by Ms. Bradshaw. Any discussion? Go ahead.
Thank you. I just want to remind everyone here that most of these bills that were not collected or not collectible were pre-transitional care management. This means under our pre-existing structure. There again, it's not their fault that a lot of these, I hate to say sins of the father, but administrative people that were in charge before and the billing services before transitional care management caused a lot of these issues and these problems. So, I mean, there again, I'm on the nursing home committee, and I don't believe we have any choice other than to vote to have these written off of that.
Okay, Mr. Dale, Gibbons, go ahead.
That's my light.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mark.
Ms. Anthony, you said that the auditor suggested that we write these off every quarter? I believe you said?
That a report be given every quarter regarding what bad debt would be.
Okay, and I assume this is not just from a quarter, is this all bad debt from like previous years or what? Or is this from one quarter?
Correct, everything from Medicare and Medicaid and hospice, so those payer sources. They're still working through like private pay, but for right now, these payer sources, it's everything that they're expecting would be bad debt. There might be some little things here and there. They're still expecting to receive still from aging report about $990,000 that they're still working to obtain.
Do you know the time frame that this was accumulated in? Is it over like 10 years or 3 years?
2015 as well. Yeah, it's 2015.
So it goes way down. So quarterly, it would be much less.
Correct. Yeah, this hasn't been done in a very long time, which is why it was a pretty, it was one of the, I don't know if I'm using the correct language, but like corrective actions from the audit fix.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Flegel, go ahead.
Yeah, Ms. Anthony, this is a question. What month are we, or how far back could we not collect? And then what month are we currently on? I know we can only, what I understood is, we can only do 1 month at a time. Correct? Am I correct?
So, yeah, it's different for every payer source, even for as far, you can go back and collect, I think for Medicare it's 12 months. For Medicaid, it might be a little bit longer. And then Medicare, you have to bill in batches and it has to be sequentially.
Okay.
But at this point, Medicaid we are billing for current services. And private pay, we are up and running with that as well. And Medicare, we're working our way up to that, sequentially, because they can't bill until they get the first batch done and approved and then move on.
That's good. All right, thank you.
Mr. Gibbons, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Anthony, do you have any idea how much money we're looking at with the private pay that's going to be bad debt?
I don't have a number on that.
Thank you.
Mr. Clay, go ahead.
I think it's a great idea that when we can't pay our bills, that we should cancel that. I think that's a really great idea. That's a joke, if you didn't catch that.
Okay, any more discussion? I see none. Madam Clerk, call roll, please.
Casey Anthony.
Aye.
Dale Gibbons.
Aye.
Kurt Copeland.
Aye.
Kevin Toonson.
Aye.
Ron Flegel.
Aye.
Alvin Wire.
Yes.
Larry Jokers.
No.
Sally Brashaw.
Aye.
Brian Brandt.
No.
Mark Diddens.
Aye.
Garrett Miller.
No.
Jerry Clay.
No.
Samuel Newton.
Aye.
Ronnie Bush.
Aye.
Deb Devine.
Aye.
Charles Hilton.
Aye.
William Hadley.
Yes.
Four no, motion carried.
13-4 passes. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Anthony.
Next up, we have approval of staffing service agreement with Next Staff. It has been brought to my attention that Mr. Larson made Ms. Harris aware that this would need to go out for RFP. So I will make a motion to lay this over.
To what meeting?
It would have to be,
In December?
I'm not sure we could get through because we have to approve the RFP through the first.
Correct, so,
So January.
okay. Do I have a second to lay it over till January?
Second.
Okay. Do you think we really need to lay this over if we're gonna do an RFP and let other people in there?
Well, I guess I would gauge the need of the nursing home for this agreement. Maybe they could have a special meeting with that RFP out sooner. And then, I mean, you can always put it on the agenda earlier than January. If they need it.
Oh, we could approve the RFP too at the next meeting, the 28th also. If we had to. Okay. I don't know if it's necessary to lay that over till, I think you just gotta go and do the RFP. And then, because this is,
There is a need for it.
okay, so, I mean, you're laying over this company, and this company might not be the one for the RFP, so it's mute, really.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we will not take it. Okay, it's been withdrawn. Anything else out of your committee?
Fresh Ideas, terminated, and so, right now, the committee is exploring both providing food service in-house and also contracting out. So there's RFPs, that have been posted, to get that information back, to get bids back and compare, between keeping it in-house or contracting out, again, like we've been doing. There are some, water heater and water softener issues, that are, needing replacement, so the committee is looking at ways to support that. And I believe that's it.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on to Mr. Newton. Anything additional out of your committee?
No additional information.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Miller. Anything out of your committee additional?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. We will move on to public comment. Anybody wants to make public comment, please go up there. Okay.
I have one. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Nothing too controversial tonight. I just wanted to bring up 2 points. One was on the staffing agreement, and I don't expect any answers, I'm just speaking here. We have 2 existing agency agreements within the facility that are not quite fulfilling the needs. So just out of curiosity, do we have to go for an RFP that would eliminate those if a new one comes up? I'm trying to say that, maybe this is more of an emergency situation than that. So maybe take that into consideration, maybe clarify what you actually are asking for with an RFP. Because we already have 2 companies in. So does the winner now eliminate the other 2? Second comment is just, I guess there's another option to not, even though you've already voted on another option to set up writing office money, we could go after the government for it. Because most of it, the government owes us. Thank you.
Anybody else, public comment? I see none. We'll move to new business. Any new business? I see none. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, by Mr. Miller, second by Mr. Dale Gibbons. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.